Hey friend, if you're going through a divorce, I need to tell you something. The way you think about your divorce could be keeping you stuck. Have you ever thought, my marriage was a total failure? My ex is ruining everything. Or I'll never be happy again. That is all or nothing thinking, and it's one of the biggest mindset traps that keeps people angry, bitter, and emotionally stuck after divorce. In today's video, I will help you escape this trap so you can start healing, finding clarity, and moving forward with peace. Plus, I will share a real life story to show you how this shift changes everything. If you're new here, I'm Jenn, your LDS life and divorce coach, here to help you navigate the challenges of divorce with faith, grace, and resilience. Now, before we dive in, don't let all or nothing thinking stop you from subscribing. You don't have to watch every video I make to hit that button. Just subscribe and take what you need. I promise, no pressure, friend. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you will have practical tools to shift your mindset immediately. Now, what is all or nothing thinking? We all do this, especially in difficult times like divorce. Our brains love shortcuts. It's easier to label things as good or bad, right or wrong, or success or failure. But the problem is this type of thinking limits your options. It creates unnecessary suffering and it keeps you stuck in anger and resentment. Let's be honest. Divorce is messy and hard, but it's never entirely one person's fault. It's never just all good or all bad. But when we fall into this black and white mindset thinking, we get trapped in anger, blame, or shame. And guess what? Your brain loves being right even more than it loves being happy. But we can change that. It will search for evidence to prove your perspectives. For example, see, my ex is a terrible person. Or, see, I never will find love again. If that's what you already believe, your mind will find evidence that that is true. But here's the truth, friend. Almost nothing in life is that simple. Divorce is a perfect example. As faith-filled Christian men and women, most of us would probably agree that divorce is not the first or best choice for handling most marital problems. Although I am divorced and I am a life and divorce coach, I am very much pro-marriage. I encourage everyone to do everything you can to resolve the problems in your marriage within your marriage if both people are willing and able. But there are situations where this is just not possible, and divorce is the best or only option. See what I mean? It's complicated, nuanced, and individualized. Every person's divorce situation is unique, so you can't make general assumptions about any one situation. And this is dangerous when you do. All or nothing thinking starts in childhood. For most kids, it just makes sense. To keep them safe, we teach our children simple rules like strangers are dangerous or playing in the street is bad. But as adults, this mindset is harmful. It fuels division and judgment and unnecessary conflict, especially online, where people attack each other over politics and religion and personal choices. When we label others as right or wrong, good or bad, we lose compassion and we close ourselves off and we stop seeing people as complex, unique individuals. And it separates us from those who think differently and it blocks our ability to learn from others, to grow, and to problem solve. And the worst part, especially when you're dealing with divorce, is this type of thinking keeps you stuck. If you believe my ex is just a terrible person or I just married the wrong person, you give your power away. You close the door to seeing what you can control and what you can learn and what other possibilities might exist. So here's the challenge for you, friend. Step into emotional adulthood. Instead of labeling situations with all or nothing or black or white labels, stay curious. Instead of judging, look for middle ground. Almost nothing in life is 100% good or bad. And when you see the gray area, you take back your control of your life and your thinking. As you embrace emotional adulthood and escape the all or nothing thinking trap, you will recognize that almost every person, relationship, and situation is unique and complex, and it offers joy, connection, love, as well as frustration, loneliness, and pain. Such is life, friends. This is the way. This is the tragic beauty of life. This is the human condition. Let me share a real life example from a client of mine to show you how this plays out in divorce situations. One of my clients was convinced that her ex husband was making terrible life choices after the divorce. He changed his lifestyle. He no longer practiced their religion. He started dressing differently. He even got some tattoos, started smoking and drinking in front of their children. To her, this meant that he was a bad father. She was stuck in black and white thinking. She saw his choices as wrong and her way of living as right. And every time she saw him, it just made her more angry, more resentful about him and their situation. But here's what I ask her. What if both things are true? What if he's making different life choices than you, and he still loves your children, and he's a good father? That one shift changed everything for her. Instead of wasting energy judging him and focusing on what he shouldn't be doing, she focused on what she could control, being the best mother possible to her children. She realized that her ex's choices didn't have to define her peace. It was actually robbing her of her peace. So, what are some other ways that all or nothing thinking shows up in divorce? If you have ever thought, my ex ruined my life, or this is my fault, those are some examples of shame and blame showing up in your thinking. We also sometimes negatively predict the future when we think, I'll never be happy again, or I'm too damaged for love. Have you ever done that? Some other ways this shows up is comparing your life to others. Maybe you've thought, my married friends have it so much easier, or because I'm divorced, that means I failed. None of these statements are 100% true. They're just thinking traps that keep you stuck. So, how do you break free from all or nothing thinking traps? I have 4 strategies to help you. The first strategy is the power of and statements. The fastest way to escape all or nothing thinking is by challenging your thoughts with an and statement. For example, you could say, my ex really frustrates me, and he is a good father to our children. Or, I feel sad about my divorce, and I'm excited for a fresh start. Another option, my marriage had struggles and there were good moments too. Adding and statements forces your brain to see the bigger picture instead of just the extremes. Okay, the second strategy I want you to try is to replace always and never statements. Words like always and never are red flags that you're stuck in all or nothing thinking. So, if you find yourself saying, my ex never thinks about anyone but himself, or I always make bad decisions, those are traps. And I want you to swap those out for more accurate statements like, my ex is sometimes selfish and he's always been helpful in some ways. Another option is, I've made mistakes in the past and I'm still learning and growing. See how these options open the door for new perspectives? Okay, the third strategy for you is question your thoughts. The next time you catch yourself thinking in extremes, ask yourself, what is 100% true? And is there another way I could look at this situation? And what is the middle ground here? Most of the time, There is more than one story that your brain is telling you. So look for alternatives. Don't let yourself stay in a thinking trap. Okay, the fourth strategy I have for you is acceptance means freedom. One of the hardest things to accept in divorce is that you can't control everything. You can't control your ex. You can't control how other people respond to your divorce, but you can control how you choose to move forward. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of everything that your former spouse does or everything other people say about you or about your situation. It means that you stop resisting reality and start finding peace exactly where you are. So, I have an invitation for you, friend. I want to invite you to take a big step this week. Pay attention to your thoughts. Notice when you're thinking in black and white or all or nothing extremes, and challenge those thoughts with and statements. The goal is to see the full picture, not just an extreme version your brain wants to offer you that's all or nothing, because we know that is a trap. So that's your challenge. Step into emotional adulthood this week and step out of all or nothing thinking traps. Divorce does not have to feel like a battle. And when you let go of all or nothing thinking, you open the door to peace, clarity, and healing. All right, before you go, don't fall into the I'll subscribe later trap because let's be real, you won't. Go ahead and hit that button right now, and I promise you will thank yourself for it in the future. And if this video has helped you, please drop a thumbs up in the comments and share what has helped you most. I would love to hear your thoughts and learn more about your situation and how I can help you in the future. And if you know someone struggling in their divorce journey, share this video with them. Keep seeking joy, friend. It is there if you choose to find it. You have got this. I am cheering for you and rooting for you. I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.